Happy New Year!
Good.
Welcome to our first business chat of 2026.
How exciting is this? Where did 2025 go? It's like,
Gone.
they say the days are shortened for the elect, but this is getting ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
So it's really, but 2026, and did everybody get a chance to hear Tuesday and Wednesday between Meredith and David sharing the vision of where we're going? And David yesterday, talking about the humble beginnings of LifeWave, the trials and tribulations, and the challenges that, it's a miracle that the company still exists, and it exists by, David's determination, his,
And his faith.
his faith and determination, and really by the grace of God. And, he proudly says that it's by the grace of God. So, and it's by the grace of God that we're all here together today. So we're so grateful to have this special quality time with you. And our subject today is going to be goal setting. There's no better time than now, and no better time than the beginning of the new year to set goals. So Robin and I, we have a pretty foundational training. I think it'd be helpful for all of you and some of your teams that maybe couldn't be on this call to be able to hear the replay.
All right. Okay. Should we jump in?
Let's do it.
Okay. So what's a goal? And why is it important? And why is it important in our business? And we've taken a few notes, so we're both going to read a little bit. But, network marketing is not a motivation business. It's a goal-driven business.
Mhm.
Motivation fades, clear goals create momentum. And isn't that what we all want? And so, many people fail in the business, not because it doesn't work, but they fail because they don't have direction and they haven't created goals. And you want to ask that next question?
Well, this is a loaded question. Has anybody here ever felt busy but not productive? And if you have, just put a yes
In the chat.
in the chat. I love that process. We're going to start doing more of that. Put a yes in the chat if you've ever felt busy but non-productive. At one point, I got an inspiration when I was starting a business opportunity meeting many years ago. I said, how many people, in the room have ever had a little critter, a little gerbil or a mouse, or, in your home with you or your kids, and they get on that wheel and you just watch them just run, 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 run. How many of you ever felt like you're on that wheel of life, just running, 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 and everybody laughed, and it's the truth. I mean, how many times we feel like we're just running on the wheel of life as opposed to getting off and running down the road of life? So I think
Towards something important.
goals help you set a destination and get there. So let's talk about goal setting.
Okay, well, let's first talk about SMART goals.
Mhm.
And I think most all of you know what SMART goals, but we're going to repeat it in case you don't know. And a SMART goal is S, it's specific. That means it can be measured. If it's not specific, it can't be measured. And SMA, it's achievable in the time frame that you decide. And we like to, we do a goal setting program, coaching program, and we usually use a month. And that's a really nice amount of time. So specific, measurable, achievable. And then R is realistic. Does it make sense? When people say to me, well, I want to make $10,000 a week, I said, well, have you ever made $10,000 a week? No. And then we look at their business and it's not anywhere near there. So doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then the last one is time phased. And time phased is you pick a time. And so we're going to use a month in our example here today. So SMART goals are, anyone want to repeat it in the chat? What SMART means?
S.
S is what? Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time phased.
That's
Okay.
good. Okay,
So we're going to jump in.
So, there's a lot of benefits to goals, but, goals help you turn things you want into things to do. They help you maintain your focus. And focus in life is the key to success. And it's one of, I went through my questions for 2026, and my one of my action words, which I haven't shared with
I
women
know
yet,
we need to do that.
is focus because, and focus is really important. It's like focus without focus, any goal will get you where you'll never get where you want to go. It's like if you don't have a destination, any road will get you there.
And there's a lot of people wandering around, not getting anywhere because they don't have that direction.
And in our profession, SMART goals center around income producing activities. Okay, it's not studying the policies and procedures. It's not studying your back office, although you can get some guidelines where to work from your back office. But the incoming producing activity really is, working with the people and prospects, partners, customers. That's where the business really grows from.
So you're talking about the focus section here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's many activities that support our focus, and you went through all these yet?
Well, I didn't really. We came up with 5 of them. Sharing the products, recruiting, sharing the business, training people that have joined as a customer or a brand partner, events, and promoting on social media. That's kind of the new leg in marketing is social media.
So these are the activities.
Mhm.
And so what we call them in our line of whatever it's income producing activities. So when
That's
you
right.
do these things, you can produce income. And all the other things are, guess what? Things to make you busy.
And the next thing to consider besides focus is consistency. And you've probably heard me say, I think it's Shakespeare once said, if man were but constant, he would be perfect. And I kind of kid and say, and notice he said men because women already are, right? But consistency is really important. Consistency in your focus. It's like that 333 or the PPP or whatever it is. But, if we just be consistent, you'll get results. But the problem is most people don't get results because they're not consistent. Okay, so they're just not doing the right things, and that's part of the role of upline sponsorship. But it's also our individual roles and responsibilities for our own success is to be consistent, to set some activity goals and stick to it.
And I think those of you that have been in this business before understand in the early phases of this business, you work a lot more than what you make, but then later on it can reverse. And so being consistent and knowing that that time will be coming over time, because if you don't see progress, why continue? And what is progress? But it takes time in this business to develop the kind of income that most people want to make.
Another important thing about goal setting is it creates measurable activity. And there's an old saying, that which measured grows. So if you're not measuring and monitoring your activity, do you know if you're slacking or succeeding? So you can't manage what you don't measure is what some say about goal setting. So you want to have measurable goals. And then goals also create belief. You got to believe it to achieve it. My favorite teaching from Napoleon Hill is what the mind can believe, can conceive, excuse me, and believe it can achieve. So you first have to conceive it. Well, maybe I could make $1,000 a month in this business, or a week, or a day, right?
Maybe I could be a director.
Yeah. And so you got to analyze enough that you can then, I think I can do it. I believe I can. And if you conceive it, believe it, you're on the road to achieving it. So that's really important.
And we're not going to do a training on belief today, but belief
Should.
we should. Belief is a cornerstone of success in life.
Yeah.
And in our business, as we know, it's belief in the products, the company, belief in our profession, and belief in yourself to be successful. And if you have those, you will succeed. And we know it. When it's going to happen, how long it's going to take, we don't know that. But your belief will carry you through success in life in any endeavor that you have.
So there's four types of goals we like to talk about in network marketing. Okay. And the first is income goals. People that are joining your business, they want to make some money. And maybe it's just to get their products paid for. Maybe it's to make a couple $100 extra a month or a week. Maybe it's a supplementary income for a college fund for their kids, or maybe it's a career change. It's really important to know what their goals are, and it's got to be their goals, their destination. And we talked
Not
about that
yours.
yesterday on our leadership call. Our job is to help people get where they want to go, not where we want them to go. That's a
Or
big
need
difference.
them to go, or think they have the potential to go. It's not about us. It's
So
always about
income
them.
goals are a good measurable thing because we get a check every week. But they don't, they can inspire people, but they don't direct people what activity. So the next thing that works out really well in network marketing.
Is activity goals. What do you,
No. Number two.
number two? Oh, your rank.
Yeah.
What rank do you want to get to? And boy, with this Comp Plan 2.0, getting manager 1 star and 2 star is easy breezy.
And we went from 6 ranks to 12. So the distance between ranks is a lot closer. That's why we're getting so many new ranks, because before it's like, oh, I'm a manager. Someday I'm going to be a director. And now, oh, I'm a manager one. Oh, I'm a manager two. I can see myself getting to manager two. But sometimes people got to manager and they go, wow, director, that just looks so big. Or, and now it's like, well, congratulations, you're manager one. Next step, manager two. And you know what? The income naturally increases as you start moving up the ladder. So that's the beauty of network marketing as a built-in rewards and achievement process within the rank structure system.
Yeah. Should we go on to number three?
Number three.
Okay. What are you going to be doing with your time? What are your activity goals that are, remember what Gregory just said, consistent? And so, how are you spending your time? How many times are you going to share the product a day? How many follow-ups are you going to do? How many presentations per week? How many enrollments do you want to have each month? Those are ideas of activity goals. Anyone else have any ideas of activity goals?
Write them in the chat if you do.
Yep. Because there's a whole bunch more of what you could, it could be posting on social media goals. I know a lot of people are really getting into posting, and the consistency there makes a difference too. Listening, okay, great.
Just think if you, and I'm speaking collectively to all of you, would make the determination, the decision, and the commitment that I'm not going to bed until I've spoken with 3 new people about LifeWave today. And you might be sitting there at 11:30 thinking, gosh, who could that third person be? And you just go through your contact list and you send a text message, you reached out, and you can go to bed.
I remember when I was really focusing on the 10,000 steps, and I'd be near the end of the day. I got to get it done. I got to get it done.
There you go.
And it's that commitment to self.
And what would it wouldn't have worked without a step counter.
No, well, I had a step counter. I had a way to measure. But, Stephen Covey talks about, it's what we do in our own privacy that makes a difference, not about the public, but in your own, when no one else is watching. What are you doing?
Mhm.
And that's where we build our own belief in ourselves, is making and keeping promises to ourselves. I'm going to do 3 contacts a day. I'm going to patch so many people a day. I'm going to get out of the house and show up somewhere to meet people, whatever it may be.
Now here's an important success secret is fall in love with the process, because you can't control results, but you can control activity. And the more you practice, the better your results with that activity will be.
What does Jim Rohn say? You make up in presentations what you lack in skill, and the more you do, the better your conversions, the less you'll need, the better, and so you got to get the practice in. You got to do it.
So fall in love with the process. And what's the fourth one?
Oh,
Goal.
this is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Personal growth goals. What does that mean to you? And it happens before the paychecks many times. What are you doing in your own private time that's going to strengthen yourself, that's going to build your belief. Are you going to be reading, attending trainings? Are you going to be listening to podcasts? I mean, we've been listening to Mark Gazzetta, and he's a brilliant trainer in network marketing.
Yes.
Eric Worre, I mean, to watch him over the years,
And Sir Kaya.
and Sir Kaya
coming up this Saturday.
Presence of so many
Masters.
great trainers and masters. And one line from any one of them can change your life. And so constantly be working on yourself, because you know what Jim Rohn says, work twice as hard on yourself as you do on your business, because you are your business. Now what, honey?
Okay, so let's talk about the framework. And this is something that we talked about a lot yesterday, and we've talked about many times. You've heard us talk about the GROW model. And Robin had the good fortune to work with one of the developers. Somebody's talking in the background, and if we could mute whoever that is, that'd be awesome. Robin had the good fortune of working with Alan Fine, one of the developers of the GROW model, which she introduced it to me. If we could control, let me see, let me mute everyone.
I'm trying, Gregory, but it's not gallery view, so I can't find the person.
Well, you can put gallery view on your own.
No, if you go to participants, you can see who's talking.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. It sounded like Tim talking to his granddaughter.
That doesn't
That
count.
could have been coochie coochie coo.
Grandson.
Grandson, excuse me.
Grandson, and it wasn't me.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, so, but the GROW model, I'm going to, Robin, introduce the GROW model, and we're going to walk you through what GROW stands for and how to use it in your life, in your business.
And you can use it for yourself. And we typically, have an upline coach you through it. But today we're going to actually do it for ourselves.
You're going to have your upline coach you through it.
There you go. We are. And so the GROW model was designed as a coaching model for multinational executives, and it's the most widely used coaching model out there. And what Gregory said when I brought him to a one-day training, he goes, "This is perfect for our business."
Perfect for our profession.
And the reason it's perfect is it's simple and it's duplicatable. Anybody can do it. And it is available in your back office under Business Basics. It says GROW model. You can print it out and work on it. But you can actually reach out to your upline director and say, "I want a GROW session," or you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
So we're going to start out with, and GROW is an acronym. G stands for goals. R stands for reality. O stands for options, and W is way forward. So I'm going to go through each one of those. And of course, we want to pick a SMART goal. So I hope everyone has a piece of paper out so you can start writing down, what is your SMART goal? What do you want in a month from now that is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time phase? So we already got the time phase. That's a month. Okay.
So I'm going to make a suggestion. This is how I do GROW sessions. Let's see if it won't focus.
No.
Too bad.
What Gregory
Well,
does.
get out a sheet of paper, and we're going to coach you on setting some goals for you and your business. And just know that this is a model you can do with your team, with your leaders, with your rising stars. It doesn't replace a getting started training. It is not a getting started training. When you enroll a new brand partner, there's a totally different process you want to go through to get them started. But once they're a team member, doing a monthly GROW session is a really valuable thing to do. And we can't do one with each of you individually, so we're doing one collectively on this call.
We're doing a
and
group
for those of you on the replay, encourage you to get out a sheet of paper, and Robin's going to lead you through a GROW session.
Okay. So the first question is, what do you want
Goal.
between now and a month from now? What is your SMART goal? Is it a rank goal? Is it an income goal? Is it a lifestyle change? What is it that you want? And we'll give you a minute to write this down on the top left. Is that where you have G?
And my suggestion for this, because this is a Lifeway business training, is what rank are you at and what rank do you want to be at the end of 30 days? Let's just say by February 1st.
Well, you're imposing your idea on them.
I am. Yeah.
This is the difference between the two of us that you guys get entertained by. But for some people, it may be more important to do a lifestyle goal or an income goal.
A
And
lifestyle goal is, but that's not something that we typically coach our brand partners. That's up for them to do it themselves. What we can coach people do are those four activity goals that we talked about. Okay. And I think the most relevant one is, well, you're almost to manager one star, you're almost a two-star. But I'd encourage people to set an income goal or rank achievement goal and an activity goal.
well, the activities
Yeah.
support it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And again,
Oh,
if
our
it-
style's a little different.
so you want to be specific. What is that one thing
Mhm.
between now and a month from now that if you are doing things consistently, you're going to say, yep, I got there. And what Gregory taught me many years ago in our business, our job is to get people in, that's the enrollment, keep them in, and move them along. So this is the move them along phase to help people, because when you're making progress, I was speaking to one of our teammates yesterday, and she hasn't been active, but she uses the product, she loves the product, and now she's ready to do the business. And I think she might even be on the call, and I'm thrilled if you are. And she said, I got this check for $100, and it was really motivating for me. I don't know how I earned it, and I showed her how she earned it, but she goes, that was motivating. And she was very, very, very successful in a sales position at a very high level. And, $100 doesn't mean much, but it does mean something. And so that's the beauty of Comp Plan 2.0 is, getting those, $25 and $50 checks at the beginning. It makes the business real.
So my suggestion for each of you setting your own personal goals is once you have your goal set, your relevant LifeWave goal, that you communicate that with your upline because then they want to know, hey, I'm committed. My goal is to get to this. I'm here. My goal is to get to there. I'm making this. My goal is to get to that. I've been doing this. My goal is to do 3 a day. Whatever goals you set for yourself, communicate it to your sponsor and your upline leaders so they can support you and also maybe even hold you accountable.
If you want. And accountability can make a huge difference in the process. So the R is reality. And that's like what is going on right now. Now, looking at your back office will share some of what's going on, but it won't share all of what's going on because you could have a lot of popcorn popping, in getting hot, ready to pop, that doesn't show up in the numbers in your back office. You've been, out there in the world, you've been meeting people, you've been patching people, you've been following up, you've been getting people on calls. So that doesn't show up, but the back office does give you a sense of some of your current reality. Where are you now? So I love, love, love the homepage because it gives exactly where you are with your current rank and exactly what it's going to take to get to that next rank.
So, because we're in the relationship marketing, we're in the relationship business. The goal is long-term, mutually rewarding relationships. This is a relationship building process. So, when you're doing with someone else, you want to look at their business reality, but you also want to look at their life reality. Oh my God, I've got to be out of this house by this Saturday. We're moving, we're packing, we got boxes everywhere. You want to know what their current reality is so you can be sensitive and empathize where they are, because one of your jobs is to make sure the goal they set, if they got a big, hairy, audacious goal, but they're moving across the country and they're packing, they're driving, they're going to be in a truck.
Is it realistic?
Is it realistic? So that's
Doesn't
where the life comes, that you need to do that life assessment. And it's good to know what's going on in people's lives. Maybe they
Maybe they have a new grandbaby.
could be it, which is a huge positive distraction.
And Helen, Tim, and Connie and Barry have a new grandbaby, and it takes a priority there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reality is looking at, if you have an income goal of, let's say, $1,000, and you look and see what you've been making on a monthly basis, and it's not anywhere near there, you might want to say, what kind of skills do I need to develop? What kind of activity do I need to increase to get to that? And what's it? And you can break down the $1,000. How am I going to get there? And like we do with the Hula tracker, it's like, what's it going to take to earn those 80 points to earn that incentive trip? And you break it down into bite-sized pieces, because if you sold a premium kit, you get $405. Who knows? But you break it down in whatever way, but really take a look at reality, because that's where a lot of people miss out. They don't have realistic goals that make sense and are achievable.
And the key is you got the goals, reality. If, and you need to balance that. And that's where some of your experience and upline perspective and your own insights into your own life when you're setting goals for yourself, make sure that your goals are balanced by your reality. So, what is the reality of how much time a week you can spend in your Lifeway business? Some people it's 10 hours a week, some people it's 10 hours a day, some people it's 5 hours a week. You need to know what's their level of time commitment, number one. And just as important is, okay, what activities are going to engage in? Can you commit to 3 people a day? Reaching out to 3 people a day? Yes, no, maybe. I mean, maybe they're 1 a day person because they can only put in, a little bit of time. Maybe they're a 5 a day person, because they have this big, hairy, audacious goal. They got some talent and experience and they got the time. That's the formula for success.
And really understanding in this business, we have an opportunity to leverage that most people don't have in their life. So we're leveraging through tools, through people, through resources. And so when you're stuck in traffic and it's not moving at all, you can, I shouldn't give this example. Let's say you're waiting in a line
Yeah.
and you've got a few minutes.
It's not everybody's car has that auto sensor to stop
Right.
when you're
Our
not
cars
looking.
do, but some
Our
don't.
cars stop if we
Oh,
don't.
there, that was a bad example. So a good
Yeah.
example is, you're waiting in line at the bank.
Yeah.
You've got a few minutes. Yesterday, I was waiting in line at the post office. Well, and it was a line, and I left my phone in the car. I could have had my phone with me. I could have sent a text message. I could have sent a messenger on Facebook. I could have sent out, the oldest intern to one of my Trekkie friends. It's amazing how busy people understand leverage. That, we all have the same amount of time. Why is it that some people make so much more money than others? They understand leverage, using your time wisely to get an exponential benefit.
And that's a good segue to the O, which is options and opportunities. So you got your goal, you got your realities. Okay, and this is where we'll say to you, as if we were speaking to you one-on-one, let's discuss what kind of options and opportunities can you think of? This is not for us to tell you what you should be doing. We're the mentor, we're the coach. We're going to say, well, gosh, those are awesome goals. And I think you got sufficient time commitment. You understand what to do. What are the options to achieve those goals?
And it's kind of fun to just open things up. And sometimes I say, I've got a magic wand. If anything was possible with no limits, how could you get to that goal that you decided, of that next rank or that income goal? What is it that you can be doing or have happen in your life? And,
Where could you go?
Where could you go and who would you want to meet and whatever it is. So you just open up the possibilities and you let the other person, and right now it's you, what could you be doing? What are some ideas to get towards your goal? And you just brainstorm. And then as a coach, we like to say, what else? What else? What else? Because when you say what else to someone, it's amazing. They always have something else. And you just keep going. And then after there's a nice list.
Hold on, before
Okay.
that, let's get a nice list. Why don't everybody put 1 or 2 words in the chat? What's 1 or 2 things you could do? Events, trade shows, more social media, just light up the chat a little bit with ideas that everybody can learn from to make your goals into a reality.
I'm just going to share.
Radio, there's an interesting, okay, Danielle, because she's a radio,
She's a
40 years in
host.
radio host.
And we just
Monthly meetings at my house. Oh, that's
I
a great
love it.
one. Yeah.
More social media posts. Keep
Following-
going. And really look at the chat, because you may get some ideas that
Business
hadn't-
launches.
that you had
Yes.
thought about. Yes.
Home parties. Yes. Darlene, the home party queen.
Yes. And something that we just did is we joined a a work, what's it called?
It's kind of an entrepreneurial business incubator. It's a co-working space.
A co-working space. And so we get to go to this place where there's other people that are entrepreneurs working together, and they encourage networking. They encourage getting to know each other's businesses. So we'll be meeting people we normally wouldn't have
We should
met.
go to the country club. That sounds like a good idea. Lunch and learns. I love lunch and
We're
learns.
going to start doing those.
Wow. New Year appearances. Oh,
Yeah.
these are great ideas.
So write down some of these ideas that are in the chat that resonate with you. Because, if you haven't done a home meeting, amazing results happen in the privacy of your own home in an hour. Darlene has it down to an hour, in and out, serving water. And almost everybody signs up, if not everybody. So it's available for everyone. Okay.
Yeah.
So then once they've exhausted their list, then while I'm doing a coaching session, I'm always taking notes with my own ideas. Then I'll say, would you like to hear some of my ideas? And then I might want to share a few things with them. Let's say they want to attract, some new builders in their team. Well, for those of you that have worked with me, you know that I always like to ask people to write down the qualities and characteristics of the kind of people you want on your team. This is using intention, which supports the law of attraction, so who do you want to meet? And my list is like, I want people that are professional and coachable and willing to be a student and plug into a system, people that I like and share values with. People, this is one of my favorite ones, people that are looking for what we have. And then the more recent one I added was people that are ready to change now, because they could have everything else, but if the timing isn't right, the timing isn't right. And when you have this list very intentionally, and your people do, guess what you attract is a treasure chest. And our Live Younger community is a treasure chest. Each and every one of you is a treasure to us. And it came by design. It did not come haphazardly. What do you want to share about that?
Yeah, I think once you've done that, once they've given, and you've taken notes of their old ideas, coming back and say, well, I really love, your ideas about this, that, and that, and lets them know you're listening. And, here's a couple of more. Now we're ready to move into part 4, the way forward. That's the W in grow session, because if you got a laundry list of stuff to do, you're not going to get that all done. You need to turn it into an action list.
And that action list is based on what interests you most to take action on, that is going to support the ultimate goal that you have for that month. Because it's not about having a lot of goals, it's having that one goal, and it's having all those things that you are willing to commit. And the word is commit, to take action on.
And as a mentor and a coach, you're going to help people decipher, because some people are going to, well, I'm going to send out 1,000 letters to chiropractors in my city. You think, well, that's a waste of time. People are going to have good ideas and bad ideas, but we rate them all down. But the way forward's probably, that's not going to make the cut.
And we don't want to judge people on those action items, but ask the questions. Is that realistic? Will that get you where you want to go? So please write down what action items that you are willing to commit to, that are realistic, measurable, and can support ultimately the goal that you desired. So we're going to give you a minute or two to write down some things on your sheet.
And I'd like to just suggest everybody, how many new people a day are you willing to commit to for this month of January? And write that number in the chat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Most of you are part-time. Oh, Renee, 3.
All right.
100, Dr. Velvet. Oh my God, she's going to do social media. That's a social media person.
And she's extending
That's right.
her broad reach.
Yeah. Dude, all right.
And this isn't about comparing to anyone else. This is what is realistic for you with the time that you have involved. And I'm hoping that
3 a day. I
we
love
should
it.
copy this and,
Go
and,
for it,
and
Dennis.
see if people have
At
actually
least 10.
committed
That's
to that.
awesome.
At least 10.
Rita.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. And I know Jim Gilliland, he's on a 90-day push and he's going for it. I think he's in the 100 range, but he is reaching out. And boy, I love, who was it? Dr. Velvet says, join your local holistic chamber of commerce.
That's good.
You know, go to places that'll have the kind of people that are open to what we have. You know, health-oriented people. When we were in our new co-working space yesterday, they have a little snack area. I was really impressed by what they had available. There wasn't junk. It was, you know, high protein, low fat, you know, just healthy kind of things. And they had a few of the little snack things, but it was impressive. You know, these are the kind of, and they want to make things available for the audience. So I think we're in a healthy audience there.
So now you've got some goals. You've got some goals. You've assessed your reality. You've looked at options and opportunities. You have a way forward. Let's talk just for a few more minutes before we open it up on how you can use goal setting to build your business and your team. And leaders don't push, they guide. And they ask, what are your goals for your business? Not where I need you to be, or where it's more, as you've heard Robin say, it's where you want to go. And help people get clear on their why. So I think that's our job as leaders, as competent, responsible sponsors and upline leaders.
When you ask someone why they're doing it, you know, we don't have a straight line in the universe. You know, it goes up and down and around and all over. And sometimes people get off track, and then we as upline and sponsors and support can remind people, you know, you shared with me that you're doing this because you want to send your children to private school. You want to have more quality time with your family. You want more freedom to, you know, hang out, you know, and be with friends in the park or whatever it may be. You want to buy your mom a new car. You know, she's never had a new car in her whole life. So we get to remind people their why.
Mm-hmm. And you've heard me say in the past, one of my mentors, a gentleman by the name of Tom Hopkins, which some of you might know, known to be one of the top sales trainers in the world, specifically in real estate. He says, qualify before you present. And I'll add another dimension to that. Qualify before you train. Qualify before you set goals, because you need to know where they want to go and why. And as we've always like to say, first the why, then the how, because if the why is not big enough, they're not going to do it anyway. So it's really important to know the driving force, the why behind all the goal setting, reality, and options.
And when you're talking to a prospect and you've learned that they have some kind of lumpuckaroo, that's Gregory's language for those of you that are new here, and they want it to be better. And one of our coaches had this great line. She said, if there was something safe, natural, and affordable that can help you relieve the pain you're dealing with in your lumpuckaroo, what is your openness to learn about it? Because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people that are open. And if they're not open, change the subject. I mean, I talked to a lifelong friend. She was the older sister of her friend. She got a very serious diagnosis. And I just asked her, you know, is she open to hearing some other ideas? And she made it really clear that she's very happy with her team and her path. And she was open to learn about nutrition. And so we want to be respectful of their time and ours. And if they're not open, we know we can help them. And sometimes I want to shake people like, you don't need to suffer. Let me put this patch on you. But you know what? They're just not open. And it's not a good use of our energy or time or theirs. So being respectful on that is important. But that's a qualifying. Are they open?
And I think it's really important as leaders that you ask the right questions. It lets people know you care. And your favorite Covey quote is?
The deepest need of the human soul is to be appreciated, acknowledged, affirmed, and understood. And when we take the time to find out what's important to them and we listen and they feel heard, they feel valued and appreciated, and that relationship We're in a relationship business first and foremost. It's not about us, it's about them and helping them get more of what they want, their desired goals. And I love the way Connie says on Doc Talk, we're not here to sell you a patch. We're here to support you achieving your desired outcomes. I love that, Connie. Thank you.
So I think it's important to ask the proper questions, what your goals are and how's it going to feel if you achieve that goal and bask in that a little bit. And then flip it and say, and if you don't achieve it, how's that going to feel?
And before we open things up, I just want to share a few common network marketing goal setting mistakes. Setting goals based on others' interests, not your own, only focusing on money. A goal without a deadline isn't really a goal. Not having specific actions to move forward towards that goal. And this is a really valuable one. Every week, sit down and look at how did I do this week based on what I committed to do, really assessing where you are based on your activities from the week.
Great. Well, what we'd like to do now is open it up. Before we open it up for Q&A, on our director's call yesterday, we had a few of our leaders that had some really good ideas. I'd like to open it for any of those folks that wanted to shine some light on what we've just gone through, because we went through a detailed grow session training with our leaders. And Dr. Velvet, you're next.
All right. You guys have done a beautiful job of even integrating some new information that even I haven't learned in the past. And that's really key when we talk about our goals as well, is are you teachable? Are you willing to listen to something new? You may have heard it 1,000 times, but all it has to take is just one simple idea to transform what you've already heard before, right? Because your brain is at a different level. Now, I saw a lot of hands go up that you guys have listened to David, and yesterday was just the icing. It was really the cherry on top, because the day before he talked about mindset. And then yesterday, he shares his story with us that as a child, he knew he wanted to be an inventor. And that inventorship, you think about it, it was what consumed his body. But he said something very key. I'm not sure how many of you really picked it up. Is he said, I didn't know how I was going to do this. There were multiple times that David said he didn't know how he was going to get something done. Now, our business was embezzled as well. And it happened when we went on vacation with our staff. So David's story, when he was talking about the credit card fraud, really hit me. In that moment, I could really relate with him, and I could understand how he felt going through that time as a successful leader, because I had that challenge as well. I could have closed my clinic. I could have laid everybody off. I could have said, I don't know what we're going to do. But instead I said, I don't know how we're going to get this done, but we're going to get it done, and we're going to do it together. And we put all of the pieces into place by having the ability to know that it was going to happen. One way or the other, we were going to succeed, right? So when it comes to, like, even when Gregory and Robin were talking about what rank you want, it is really never about the rank you want. It's never going to be about the money, but rather how you feel with becoming that rank. So I get questioned all the time when new people meet me. They're like, oh, wow, you must be really high up in the company. You're an SPD, aren't you? And I said, no, but I'd like to know why you say that. And they tell me exactly what I want to hear, is that I emulate that status. Now, I'm not an SPD, but that doesn't mean that I can't act and be at the SPD level until I get there. Now, so does that mean I walk around saying, oh my gosh, I'm only a 2-star director and oh, my only lowly life, I'm not making enough money? No, I never do that. I don't care. If I see $4 in the back of my back office, I celebrate and I'm like, woohoo, this is amazing. My work is paying off. It has never mattered to me how much money I have or not have. And thank God, because I would have probably closed my clinic back in the day. And David as well. If he had been concerned about that, we wouldn't be here right now. But he wasn't. And it was the overall feeling that you have of your success and being who you are. David's an inventor. He talks about network marketing, but he has created structure in the company in a way that allows him to continue to embrace that realization of the inventor and allowing us to do what we do. So as a network marketer, we should always be setting that goal of feeling better, that I feel great today. I feel good talking to people. So there was someone in the chat, and I forget their name. I don't want to call them out. It's in there about, well, I'm trying to do this. Every single morning, wake up and realize that you are doing great, that you're feeling better every day. So that phone call that you're making is, wow, I felt better about that today. That feels good. But here's the thing, it's always before, not after. So before you even get on the call, you're saying to yourself, I feel good about this call. I feel confident about this call. I feel strong about presenting. I feel confident speaking up. And I get this a lot too. So I want to bring this to your awareness, because if something has triggered you, it's usually a spot where you're not showing up. And that's your issue, not the person who's showing up. So there's lots of times you're at a presentation and somebody's got something negative to say about it. Well, you're showing them the potential of what they can become. And so you're giving them a moment to reflect on how they're feeling. So if they're still feeling lowly about it or feeling critical about it, then they're only going to get more of that. But when they celebrate and they say, oh my gosh, Dr. Velvet is doing this and that, I can do that too. I want to do that. I want to be able to speak even better than that, or even better than this. I mess up all the time and I celebrate when I mess up, because I like the realistic that we don't have to be perfect, right? But if you see me mess up and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe she just said that. Hey, that's great. That's a moment for you to say, wait a minute, I can do that. I can do it because I just criticized her. So I'm going to step up and I'm going to do it even better. And I celebrate you in doing that. So it's never about the rank and it's never about the money. It's about the person that you are becoming now to enjoy those things even more. So it's about being. Who are you being? And then the doing. The doing is the action steps that Robin and Gregory were sharing with you today. And the having, well, here's a secret. Once you have it, you don't care anymore. It's not a desire within you. You have it, you enjoy it. You have it, but it's not something you go around and say, oh my gosh, I have this. So there's been lots of examples I've given to folks in the past, and some of you are very new on here. But I remember when I was in X-ray school, that was a very transformative time for me because it was a leveling up. I had always been a teacher. At that point, I was just teaching children. So I was thrown into a whole nother dynamic. And one day I had this realization. And when the realization happens, the action steps come easier, because now the action steps are kind of like downloaded. You remember when David talked about that yesterday? When he meditates, he gets these downloads, he gets these messages. That's because he's open and he's taking on that feeling, right? So when you have that realization, your body, every single cell in your body opens up and you get this download of all these amazing steps. And you're compelled. You basically can't even resist it. And then it's not about having it anymore. It's about enjoying the process of the experiences that you're having and all that you are doing. So when you're setting your goals and you have a particular goal, how, like Gregory said, how do you feel? But I want to go a little further. I want you to pretend that you already are that. I'm going to give you one more example, then I'm going to pass it off. So we didn't need to do this. A lot of times things will come to you quicker when you need them. Like if you need money and you put yourself into that state, altered state where you already have the money. But one day I was just playing and I wanted a new wardrobe. And so what I just imagined was me walking around. Now I was a massage therapist, always wearing scrubs. So it was a dream of mine to be able to dress up, right? And to put my hair up and wear makeup every day. So I pretended I had these nice shoes on, that I had this beautiful dress on. I began to see myself at weddings with gowns and all this beautiful jewelry on. And I fell asleep in that. And I was like, oh my gosh, that just feels so good. I kid you not. A week later, I almost hate telling you the amount that I got because I don't want to set up some kind of like precedence or doubt or disbelief, but I'm going to go ahead and give you the amount because I want you to equate it to how strong that frequency that was coming from my own desire. I received a check for $250,000 and did not know it was coming. It wasn't from any work that I had done. It was a complete and utter surprise to me. And when I opened up that check, it was disbelief at first. I was like, is this fake? Is this really real? But it was real. And so do you think I went and bought a new wardrobe? Absolutely. I bought a new wardrobe and I found every excuse to go out to dinner, to go to parties, go to weddings, and I made sure that I enjoyed every bit of that. And of course, I did some extra things with that, but that just proves how strong of an alignment I had and a signal I was sending out into the universe that the universe said, okay, you got it. Here you go. And I could tell you a lot more miracles that have happened to me in my life. Some of you have already heard those, but I want to make sure people have time to share their story too.
Thank you, Dr. Velvet. Oh my goodness. And that just brings me to David wondering, how he's going to make payroll and gets the IRS envelope. It's his belief is so strong that he attracted what he needed to continue on with the business. And one of the things David says, I've heard him say, don't let anyone steal your dreams. And as a child, he didn't share this yesterday, when he said he wanted to be an inventor after going to Thomas Edison's, workshop, his parents said, pick another profession. That's not a.
He didn't share that yesterday, but he shared that with us.
He's shared that many times, but he did not let go. And he is a man of faith.
He didn't let them steal his goals.
He didn't let him steal his dream. So, and having the faith and the knowingness that no matter what, it will happen. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Dr. Velvet, you said so many wonderful things. We could wrap that all in just a training in itself.
Bundle.
But isn't it inspiring to have a founder, CEO, inventor who gets on a call and talks about mindset?
Yeah.
And then he says, and there's two things I'd like to recommend everybody do. Start your day with prayer and meditation. And that's where he gets his inspiration and downloads, and exercise and get the proper nutrients so you can maintain this body temple to get you where you want to go. And it tied also into what I said earlier about Napoleon Hill. Your mind conceived and believed. You didn't know you didn't even know that money was coming. You had no idea, but the universe responded to your intention. And that's just the magic.
Attracted it.
That's right.
Some of our spiritual teachers, say yours is the what, God's is the how.
That's right.
Yeah. And God does, whatever your belief says, there's a power bigger than us that can bring things that are, whenever I put things down, I always say, and better than I ever expected.
Mhm.
That's right. I do the same thing.
I had a
And
long list for a partner, and I always said better than I ever expected, and I got it in spades. I got this whole plan and all kinds. So anyway, let's move on. We're getting
Thank you,
close. Thank
Dr.
you.
You're
Velvet. That
welcome.
was fabulous. We've got a few
Yeah,
minutes left,
yeah.
and we'll take a few
And
other people.
I do want to share one more
Okay,
thing.
go ahead.
David always talks about gratitude. He starts the day with gratitude. He ends the day with gratitude. The first thing, if you notice, every time you hear him, he always starts with gratitude. And every time I say, thank you, David, he goes, no, thank you. We would not be here without our leaders and our band partners.
How many people have ever started a gratitude journal? And you could put a yes in the chat. I'd just be curious. That's a really way to get your focus and energy going in the right direction in the morning. Not about, oh darn, don't I have? I'm so grateful. I have a roof over my head and it's not leaking. I have friends, family. I've got food in the refrigerator. What are the things you're grateful for? That's one of the best ways to start a day is coming out of that spirit of gratitude.
And then what happens to our energy when we're in that place? We become more magnetic. People are drawn to us. And it's amazing how that happens. So we've got a few hands up and we got a few more minutes left. So Rita, you want to go first? And then Lavelle and
Thank
me.
Thank you, Dr. Velvet. That was awesome. Awesome. And one of the things, the words that she used that I love is pretend. I'm pretending. I have a vision from a year ago that says how grateful I am that I'm earning $180,000 a year. That is not my reality. Okay. But I feel good when I think, whoa. So I can pre being before, and tend, meaning take care of. I
Uh,
can pretend I've got that 180 grand.
Woohoo!
Good for you. That's awesome, Rita. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Our vibrant, okay, soaring senior.
That's right.
Yes. Okay.
Hey,
Lavelle
Lavelle.
or Muget. Yes.
It's Lavelle. Hey, good morning. Great training, guys. We need to go back to this more and multiple times because we all get off track. Um, but I want to share something with what Rita said and also Dr. Velvet said. We called it when I first got in the home base business was fake it until you make it. Act just act like you're that top producer because confidence, they say attitude is everything, right? You got to have that attitude and the mindset. And we talked about it yesterday on the director's call. And I get off track too. Go back to the basics, guys. Connect. We say the bigger the list, the bigger the check. So
That's right.
adding to adding to that list, guys. We used to call it 2 a day, 10 in play. Keep 10 people in play at all times, guys, and go back to the basics. Connect heart to heart, pique people's interest. Don't throw up on them. Point to the tools. Follow up with three-way calls. I had Jonathan Bill on the call with me the other day. Guys, use the people who are still fired up. They want to hear about Jonathan's high blood pressure. Oh my gosh. And Jonathan, he did it not only for me, he did it for Dr. Latrice. Guys, use those three-way calls and then either enroll them as a grant partner or customer, or if they're not ready, just send them more information. Thanks, Gregory, for letting us share. Thanks so much.
No, that was beautiful. And Lavelle, you reminded me of one of my favorite quotes is, like I said, there's no straight line in the universe. And this came from a very wise man. He said, enlightenment is catching ourselves off track quicker than the time before. So our life may look like this, but then as we keep working on it and catching ourselves, those extremes are less and less, and we're at a higher and higher frequency. So catching ourselves off track, when you get off track,
So we are at the top of the hour, and we're going to bring this call in for a landing. I just want to mention that the last couple of days calls are on liveyoungeryoutube.com. So the Vision 2026 is in liveyoungeryoutube.com. And also yesterday's LifeWave Connect with David on the LifeWave story is probably, I haven't checked, it's probably already there. If it's not, it'll be there shortly this morning.
And always go to the What's New section, because a lot of that is on What's New also.
And I just want to remind everyone of the special training we have coming up this Saturday with Sir Kaya Redford on the 7 Secrets to Success. He is a top 1% trainer in the world and travels the world doing training. And he just ended up in a friendship relationship with us. He uses the patches. And he's going to be delivering a fabulous training on Saturday. So you can find out more about that in the What's New section of Live Younger Success. Also in our newsletters that have gone out.
In the newsletter. And if you're not getting the newsletter, you can always go to Live Younger Success, and there's a newsletter archive. The most recent one is always in What's New. And we are working with the company to help them post the link for the newsletter that people aren't getting from the company, and until they figure out what's going on with the newsletter mail system.
Okay, real quick, a couple of last
real
hands.
fast.
It's
Michelle
real fast.
and Renee, hi there.
Thank you. Hi. Wow. What a great call. I'm so glad I was here.
Me
Lavelle,
too.
what was your quote? Sunshower asked, and I want to know too. Something a day, how many in play?
Two a day.
Maybe Robin and Gregory, you know.
2 a day, 10 in play.
10 in play.
2 a day, 10 in play.
Yeah.
2 a day means contacting 2 new people,
Mhm.
and 10 in play means you have 10 people that
You're
you've already
following up. Mhm.
that you're working with.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Great.
Hey, Renee.
Good morning. Just first of all, I just want to say this phone call is really, really awesome, very informative, and I really, really love it.
Mhm.
Second, the one on Saturday with Sir Kaya,
Yes.
if there's a conflict of schedule, I just wanted to confirm that we could watch the recording because I have something going
Correct.
on
If
Saturday,
you're registered, you'll have unlimited access to the recording.
and they will tell us how to do that then.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, great.
Yeah, there'll be a
Thank you,
link to the
guys.
recording that we'll share after it's completed on Saturday.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Oh, you're so
Well,
welcome.
thank you all for being here on the first business chat of the year. It's going to be an amazing year. We invite you all to be setting those SMART goals.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye. You can unmute.
Great
Thank you,
job.
Gregory.
Thank
Thank you, Robin.
Wow, this was amazing. Thank you so much for all your work.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys.
Call. Thank you so much. guys.
Yay.
Thank you. It was amazing.
Thank you, guys.
Lovely job, you guys. Very
Thank
good.
you. Thanks, Robin, Gregory.
Yay.
This is wonderful.
Right. Thanks, everyone. Love y'all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.